I'm going to play this Shambling Vent tapped, and I'm going to play Warden of the First Tree.
Alright.
Pass to you.
Play this forest.
Alright, so I'm going to tap. I'm going to draw. Ooh, okay. I'm going to play this forest. And then I'm going to cast Nissa, Voice of Zendikar.
It resolves. And now I'm going to tap both my forest and my mountain for Atarka's Command. And I'm going to choose to deal 3 damage to each opponent, which means to your Nissa. And I'm going to play a land this turn.
Yeah, I still have priorities, so I'm going to activate her +1 and get a plant. So now she's at 4.
Wait. What? But this is an instant. I thought an instant took priority.
Welcome back to Mana Central. I'm Sam.
And I'm Kenny. This week we're bringing you another MTG Basics episode reviewing priority and how it affects your gameplay.
Priority is an important concept in Magic the Gathering. It dictates when you can cast your spells and when you can activate your abilities to respond to things that your opponent has done or things that you have done. As you saw in the skit earlier, Kenny tried to deal damage to my Planeswalker before he had priority. Had he had the foresight to play control and counter my Planeswalker while it was on the stack, that would have been a different story. But instead, he tried to deal damage before he had priority. I was able to activate the loyalty ability of my Planeswalker, taking it outside the reach of his Atarka's Command. How this works is, when you start your turn, after the untap step, you gain priority during your upkeep, and pass that priority to your opponent when you're entering your main phase 1. In order to move between steps and phases, both players must pass priority in order to continue. In some cases, you can skip multiple steps and phases as long as your opponent acknowledges, saying something like, I'm going to move to combat, after you've just started your turn. If your opponent acknowledges, there are actually several exchanges of priority that take place to take you past your main phase 1 and into your declare attackers step that are skipped over because both you and your opponent have acknowledged that you will be passing priority during these times. When you as the turn player play a spell or activate an ability that goes on the stack, you then pass priority to your opponent or you hold priority to play additional spells or activate additional abilities. If you pass priority to your opponent, they can choose to respond to your spell or ability by playing a spell or activating an ability of their own. If they choose not to, they pass priority back to you, and everything on the stack resolves. There are some cases where you'll want to hold priority before passing it to your opponent. If you play a spell and then you want to copy that spell, you'll want to make sure to hold priority and play your spell that allows you to copy it before that spell resolves. In this case, this gives your opponent ample opportunity to respond to both your spell and the copy of that spell. The nice thing about instant speed spells that deal damage to you or a planeswalker or a creature you control is that they cannot be played unless your opponent has priority. As you saw during the example after I cast Nissa, Voice of Zendikar, Kenny tried to get rid of her with Atarka's Command, dealing her 3 damage. He did not have priority at that point, because he did not counter Nissa while it was on the stack. Once Nissa enters the battlefield, priority passed back to me, and I had the opportunity to activate one of her abilities, taking her up to 4 loyalty, and pass the reach of his Atarka's Command. Priority is a very important concept, because as a Magic the Gathering player, it's very important to know when you can cast spells or activate abilities. Casting a spell before your opponent actually passes you priority can sometimes tip your hand, and show your opponent more information than they really should have. As previously stated, for steps and phases to end, both players have to pass priority and all spells and abilities on the stack have to be resolved in order to proceed from one phase to another. Priority is, again, a very important concept in Magic the Gathering. And if you're thinking about becoming a professional player or attending professional events, we highly recommend you read up on the full, comprehensive rules on priority and timing available at wizards.com.
Thanks for joining us this week at Mana Central. We hope you enjoyed our latest installment to our MTG Basics series. Give us a like, let us know how we're doing, and that you're enjoying our videos.
Don't forget to subscribe for more videos from us, or leave us a comment if you have ideas on future videos or want to give feedback on these ones.
And be sure to follow us on Twitter at Mana Central, Instagram at Mana Central, and Facebook.com/The Mana Central, where we like to post lots of new content about our videos and other MTG news.
Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.